actually deliver on a stream of Chainsaw Man. Well, we're good to go. And they certainly are. God, I'm not looking forward to this chapter at all. Like, God, I have been waiting for Chainsaw Man to come out for the last 2 weeks. At the same time, I'm like, I don't want to read this. I really don't. Like, I just don't want to see Aki suffer anymore. Okay, I just want the suffering to end, bro. I want my son to be happy. Well, he can't be happy. It's impossible. But alas, yeah. Well, we left off last time 2 weeks ago. At this point, Aki was not doing so great. It was going from worse to worse. I mean, it was worse already, but it just progressively got even worse at that point. Which is like, it's impossible how much it could have got worse, and it got worse. It was just, I'm baffled, bro. I'm baffled. I am flabbergasted at how I just leave my poor boy alone. He's suffered enough, all right. And yeah, bruh, it's just bras constantly. It's bras all round, I must say. It's just bras all round. It's how 79 fair in comparison to 78. I have zero idea, but looking at the title page, I was already like, what the fuck, man? Why would you go and do this to me? Why would you make me suffer like this? Stop it. Just stop hurting my heart, Fujimoto. Fujimoto, I suffered enough with Fire Punch. Let me rest. Let me rest, my dude. God. Do you remember when this manga actually was a comedy? Like, do you remember that time? Those were pure Kino times. We're not in Kino times anymore, bro. This ain't Kino times. Oh, but anyway, let's read 79 Play Catch. Giving up. It's just like, how could he have made it? Like, there was no way he could have made this any worse, but he actually did make it worse because it's just paralleled with his childhood. It just makes it hurts. There's no way in hell it just doesn't hurt. It hurts you, like, to the core. That's more like it. My hands are getting cold. Turn back, turn back, turn back, turn back, turn back into Aki. God damn it. God damn it. Cool shots, but this ain't the time, bro. This ain't the time for cool shots, okay? This is time for depressing shots, which is also the case in this chapter as well, but still, cool shots nonetheless. Denji's like poor boy at this point as well. Like the bro's gone. The bro gone. Save us, please. I don't want to die. We saw you on TV. I have kids. You gotta save them. This is very interesting. This is a very interesting development. Help. Such a cool shop. It's just not the time. It's just not the time for that. It's just not the time for that, bro. Oh. Great shots. Okay, take this. Huh? Oh, God. How come you're crying? I've never seen you cry before. Okay, I lose. I don't like snowball fights anyway. They just make your hands cold. Huh? Denji? Big brother. I've got the ball and gloves. Oh yeah. I want to play catch. Oh, fuck off, alright? Fuck off. Fuck off. No. Fuck off. I don't want to see him, alright? Piece of shit. God damn it. That smug boy. That smug, look at that smug boy just standing there while my boy dead on the floor. Look at him doing that, alright? This ain't the time, my dude. This ain't the fucking time. Fucking accept this, alright? I reject this future, okay? Aki Hayakawa, you died in the worst possible way for the chainsaw boy. Fuck. Don't want to read this anymore. I want off this crazy train. I want off this train. I don't want to read this. I'm so done with this manga. I don't want to be depressed every single damn week. My poor son. Why does everyone I care about die? Okay. God, what's happening? What's happening? Oh yeah. Oh shit, yeah. It does. It's a complete reversed shot from chapter 1. Fuck, man. I don't know how you could have made that even worse, but you already did. Fujimoto, I'm proud. You just made that hurt even 10 times even more. Makes me it makes me want. I guess it also makes me wonder something. Yeah, what does it mean? Because clearly the shot with this, you can tell there's the idea that Denji doesn't want to do it. He doesn't want to end the life of the person he cares about. Essentially, we kind of known that Denji's changed as time goes on because he cares about Aki and power now, essentially. So the shot, I'm guessing, with the original with Makima, if you look at it from this perspective, is that there's no sense of emotion within Makima. Again, going back to this whole entire idea that possibly what Makima was doing this entire time was controlling Denji. Even more so now, because now we kind of know more about her. It can in theory mean that possibly that she was controlling him. So that emotion at that point was just as a means to control. Here it's a means to kind of say farewell and actually kind of say that it's like it's saying goodbye to the person he cares about probably most in the world now at this point, and dying via his hands. Possibly, maybe. I'm not too sure. But then, even more so, the shot way back where everyone was giving him their blood. It kind of it goes back to this whole entire idea of like it's not so much the God complex kind of idea, but like the idea. It's very biblical, if you get what I mean. It's a very biblical shot, like the shot of just a shot of them giving the blood. It's extremely biblical of like this idea of turning Denji into like the Messiah essentially, which I'm guessing it's Messiah complex is something it's actually a running theme within Fujimoto's work, because Agni essentially was the Messiah complex, like personified essentially, but with him it wasn't him doing it essentially. It was via everyone else creating that Messiah from him. To be honest, exactly the same is kind of happening here. Like, in essence, how everyone is saying, we don't want to die, save us, essentially. And actually kind of, it's putting Denji as kind of more, like, in a way, biblical, very kind of, like, Messiah-esque nature. But he hasn't himself created it, essentially. He's kind of, he's just trying to save everyone, essentially. So it's like, it's his idea that, it kind of goes back to his idea that it's possibly what Fujimoto's trying to say about the main character overall, like how the actions the characters do create this sense of like Messiah, even when they don't want to do it. It's essentially creating this thing they're not actually aware they're creating. Essentially, I'm guessing. Same. This manga actually does give me a lot of pain, but I can't stop reading it. It's like Banana Fish at this point. It's just Banana Fish was constant pain. I was like, by the end of it, I was like, I just don't feel anything anymore. Same thing here. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a very interesting shot overall, because that one I was kind of like, I don't know, because it has been hinted a lot that there is a lot of biblical referencing within Fire Punch, also in Fire Punch, but also in Chainsaw Man. Even there, I believe it was it one of Fujimoto's comments on the actual author comments. It then went back to a biblical verse within, I think, like Luke or Samuel, one of the two, Bible verse. So it's not like he's unaware he's doing it. He's aware that he's doing it. It's purposely done. So it makes me wonder whether or not this does hint towards something more. Like there's like he's trying to tell us that it's sort of going down this route of the Messiah complex, but it's not as if Denji's creating himself. It's more so that he's caught up in the entire mess, and through that entire mess, this entire perspective is created from him. Which then it makes then a lot of things more complicated, because then if say they don't want to it's a very cool panel, but fuck, I don't like it. I don't like it, bro. But yeah, it's one of those things that I wonder whether or not it's hinting that possibly this could in theory lead to more complications down the line. Like in essence, people taking more as like this, like a cult kind of gets created from Denji saving them, which is actually more interesting because essentially this whole entire thing's come from him trying to take down the person he cares about most in the world, essentially. So it's almost a complete reverse of the entire Messiah complex, essentially. Because the Messiah complex is someone who believes himself to be higher than the normal ethereal being, essentially. Someone who believes himself that, that's a God complex. But Messiah complex is kind of very similar in that way. So it's interesting that it's birthed from the idea that he himself is trying to take down the person he cares about most, saving everyone else around him. So I don't know whether or not actually that kind of might in theory lead to something very much similar to Uglyism in Fire Punch, which, as we know, did not end very well. So that's the problem I kind of see that could in theory be happening later on, like whether or not the actions do start to get noticed, and actually then possibly he's even more wanted at that point, because we know everyone wants him at this point. So possibly that could in theory lead to the fact that there's actually possibly more. Thank you so much. I need one right now. I guess it might lead to something later on into the manga, possibly. I'm not too sure right at this second, but it's a very kind of like it's a throwaway shot that in Fujimoto's way is leading to something. I still maintain. That's my thought process on that one shot. I don't know, it's one shot in entire like it's a one shot in the entirety of this manga chapter, but it's and then you have the whole entire thing, him taking down Aki as well. It's very telling, essentially. It's a very telling chapter, because it's almost, this will probably be the point in which Denji completely changes as well, like as a person. In essence, I don't think he will actually hold the exact same like feelings he had beforehand. This is probably like, I don't know, is this essentially like when Edward takes down Greed in Fullmetal Alchemist? Essentially, it's that kind of like, it's that part, like it's what changes a character. I guess, what else is there in other series that kind of does that? I guess Ace in One Piece as well. It's Ace in One Piece as well. There's also, I guess it's when the Hokage dies in Naruto as well. That kind of changes the whole entire like mood of the entire manga, and I think this is like the start of a new kind of Chainsaw Man. Essentially, I think the old Chainsaw Man's ended. Like I think we're kind of like, essentially, if you want to look at it from a biblical perspective, technically the Old Testament of the entire Bible's finished. This is the New Testament of the entire like storyline. I don't think the entirety of like the original the original kind of like Chainsaw Man lives on anymore. It's basically gone. I think at this point it lives on as name only, rather than actually as a concept. It's like Denji's not the same Chainsaw Man he was beforehand. Chainsaw Man is now basically a hollow husk of his former self, because he had to take down the person he cares about most in his own hands. Which I guess is something that does actually happen in shonen manga, but very much not often all the time. So it's a very interesting kind of like, it's very interesting development, essentially, to actually kind of like include this into the manga, because it's always been hinting that Denji's changing constantly. Like the whole entire thing when he actually kind of proclaimed that everyone wants his heart rather than him, that was one. So possibly this is the second. So it's almost like as if Denji's like a bomb about to go off, like in the sense of emotion. So what it will lead to is yet to be seen, but I'm guessing it's what actually lies beyond the door that Pochita actually says do not open. Maybe, possibly, that's what Makima wants. Maybe Makima actually wanted this whole entire thing to happen, because she knows the only way to actually unlock something like that is to actually kind of like basically break Denji. And the only way you can actually break Denji at this point is to take down the person he cares about most, because we know that he wants a family, essentially, and she wants that kind of familial life. He had it, and now it's gone. So it's one of those things, whether or not it is what it's going to lead towards is that, by the way, Denji just breaks as a person. But that's a wait and see kind of scenario. We have to wait and see what happens. I don't know. This is a very cryptic chapter, because it's on the one hand sending off the kind of character meant to be following this whole entire time, and on the other hand, it's essentially a new beginning for the entire manga, because it's kind of like, it's not yeah, Power's next to die because Future said so, but I don't know how or when. That's the problem. And it's kind of like, it's scary to think, because we don't necessarily know what Makima's doing, because, again, we don't necessarily know the middle part of the entirety of that fight between her and the good old Gun Devil. We don't know the middle part of the whole entire thing, so I'm guessing that's another massive thing to happen. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen there. I'm very scared. But I'm guessing it's probably going to lead towards something that will, in theory, once again change the entirety of his manga. I think now this is basically like... This is essentially True Man's World of, like, JoJo Part 7. Like, how True Man's World basically deconstructed and actually kind of broke down the main character of Gyro and Johnny. The same thing's kind of happening here, but it's kind of like, it's... While in True Man's World, it's like the characters were saying, like, look, this isn't going to work all the time, you can't keep doing this. Here it's kind of like Denji's basically has to kind of end every single tie he's ever had in life. The person he has left is Makima, which is kind of like, at this point, probably the worst person to actually have as a friend, because we don't know what she's going to do or what she's doing, essentially, or where it's all going to go towards. So yeah, Chainsaw Man's fun. Remember this whole entire manga was a fucking comedy? I remember those times. Those are great. Now it's pure depression. God, this is like post. It's like when Judo turns into Luna, essentially, in Fire Punch. Exactly the same thing. That was just constant depression off that point. The same thing's happening here, but it's a lot sooner. But man, I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm scared. I don't want to read on. I'm just given up at this point, but it's true. Every single manga I read depresses me. It's just everything I read just always. I don't read something that's actually happy. Everything I read just makes me depressed. Everything I play makes me depressed. Everything I watch, depression. I can't escape it. I can't escape the pain I inflict upon myself when it comes to this kind of medium. All I read is pure pain. But yeah, I'm gonna lie down in the corner and cry. I just don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to read Fujimoto. What you doing, bro? What's happening here? Oh God, Jesus Christ. Anyway, that'll do it for today. I got going. Like, I don't know what people do after these whole entire things. Just go and cry and eat some ice cream or something. I don't know. But until then, we're chapter 80, I believe now at this point, of Chainsaw Man. I have indeed been a driver. Actually have enjoyed this whole entire stream as a whole on Twitch, then do leave a follow on Twitch, because indeed does make quite a bit. If you have then enjoyed this whole entire stream as a whole on YouTube and doing free, leave a like, because indeed it does make quite a bit. If you have then enjoyed this whole entire stream as a whole on YouTube and doing free, leave a sub, because indeed does make quite a bit as well. If you have then enjoyed this whole entire stream and doing free, follow me on Twitter, or join Discord as well, because both do help me quite a lot, and both of them tell you when new streams go live and any other streams I do as well. Until next time, we're actually doing free, muster the courage to read on in Chainsaw Man. See you guys then. Bye for now.